In episode 73, iPiffle on what has become known as the Malthusian Catastrophe. In 1798, Thomas Malthus, an English cleric and scholar, published an essay on the principles of population, in which he implied that population growth is far superior than the Earth's ability to sustain enough natural resources. If allowed to continue unchecked, this will eventually result in many hardships and premature death. Malthus went on to argue that because of man's vices and unwillingness to adapt to his environment, he will unwittingly be the cause of forced depopulation. Because of overpopulation and poor resource management, as a direct consequence of this, pestilence, epidemics, and plagues are certain to come about, which could kill upwards of tens of thousands of people. If diseases do not kill off enough people, then famine is an inevitable outcome which could be even more virulent, and will through mass starvation level the population with the availability of food in the world. Malthus believed that overpopulation will lead to a series of positive checks by causing an otherwise early death brought about by disease, starvation, and war, resulting in what is now termed a Malthusian catastrophe. This catastrophe would kill off enough people to return the population of a specific country, region, or even the world to a more sustainable level. Another component to the great Malthusian dread was that overpopulation results from indiscriminate charity by individual governments and world relief organizations, and that this overzealous altruism will eventually cause even greater devastation in the long run. Large-scale aid will lead to exponential growth in the population, which in turn could conceivably cause greater increases of poverty and starvation until aid organizations become so overwhelmed that they are unable to keep pace. Also, increases in population cause governments to have to spend more on entitlements to support the ever-growing number of dependent citizens. If left unchecked, this will also lead to the catastrophe of national bankruptcy. Simply stated, Thomas Malthus theorized that in every age and in every region of the world, an increase in population is limited by the means to produce subsistence, and that when the means to produce subsistence increases, so too will population. However, if left unchecked, population increases will inevitably result in misery and untimely death. Although in modern times Malthusianism has come to be identified with the consequences of overpopulation, Malthus was most concerned with the consequences of overpopulation by the dependent poor and its drain on the public purse. Thomas Malthus was also a devout believer in Christianity, and he advocated reducing the population through self-control and abstinence. He did not encourage the use of artificial birth control methods such as contraception. But Malthus did reference in his writings that abstinence alone was unlikely to prove effective on a wide-scale basis. In instances around the world where population pressures were life-threatening, he did suggest that artificial means might be permissible as a morally viable solution to prevent undue suffering and premature death. In modern society and in many countries of the world, artificial birth control is promoted as a viable approach for preventing unwanted or unplanned pregnancies. Thank you for listening. I hope you will join me in my next video.